Welcome back, Renegades. You're tuned in to the Renegades of Real Estate podcast, where we explore everything you need to know about buying, selling, investing, and designing your dream home. I'm Shelby Carver.
And I'm Riane Hysell, and we are thrilled to be your hosts for another episode.
After a brief hiatus, we're so excited to be back, and we're better than ever.
Yes.
We're settling into our new office. We've crafted a fresh podcast space. And we're ready to dive into some top-notch content created just for you.
In this week's episode, we're tackling the most frequently asked questions people have when buying real estate. From navigating the closing processes to handling earnest money, we've got you covered. So grab your headphones, settle in, and let's embark on another real estate adventure together. Stay tuned because it's about to get real. Estate.
So Riane and I recently attended a business event where Terry Watson spoke on the customer experience. One of his main points, which was backed up by countless examples of his hilarious experiences, was that every business needs to let people know what to expect ahead of time to avoid a mountain of mistrust, misery, and misunderstandings. As he was making his point, I thought about my career as a real estate agent and considered what this meant for my business. I came to the conclusion that this is completely impossible to do in real estate because every single transaction is different, and I couldn't begin to explain every possible scenario. Luckily, he passed out a list of most frequently asked questions, and many of them were tailored to real estate. And as I began reading it, I knew that we just needed to make this an episode for you guys.
Absolutely. And Terry's a great motivational speaker. If you'd like to check him out, go to terrywatson.com. Let's get these questions started. Shelby, how long does it take to buy a home? And how many properties does the typical buyer look at?
So it can take as little as a few days in rare instances. If you're really in a hurry, you're a cash buyer, and you don't have any contingencies. Typically, it takes 2 to 3 months to find a home, go through the inspection, appraisal, underwriting, and closing processes. There can be rare and unpredictable roadblocks that can drag the process out. One of my transactions had an issue with property boundaries, and it took 9 months to get everything settled and then closed.
On average, people look at about 10 properties before making a decision, but some people search for years, and other buyers buy the first property they look at. It really depends on how quickly or slowly you make decisions.
Yeah. When should I make an offer, and how do I decide how much to offer?
Once you find a house that you like, you'll want to make your decision quickly. In a hot market, you don't want to sleep on it, or you may not get to sleep in it. Don't be afraid to make a choice early on if you find the right place. The market is constantly changing, and every area is unique, so ask your realtor for advice on how much to offer. There is no one-size-fits-all approach. Shelby, when will I get the keys to my new house?
So this will be written into your buy-sell agreement. It's very common to get the keys on closing day once the agent has all of the signatures and funds. But you may need to wait until the deed has been recorded. Sometimes closings scheduled on a Friday afternoon don't get recorded till Monday, so you'll have to wait all weekend to get the keys. Riane, what happens at the closing table?
All the paperwork gets signed, money is exchanged, and the ownership of the property officially transfers from the seller to the buyers. It's pretty straightforward and there shouldn't be any surprises. Next question. Is the closing date on my contract guaranteed?
It's not always guaranteed. It's typically honored unless there are unforeseen circumstances, like there needs to be major repairs done on the house. But often there's a number of days written into your buy-sell agreement that's a buffer just for financing delays.
Makes sense.
Now, let's talk about earnest money. How much earnest money do I put down?
The amount of earnest money varies by market, but it's usually around 1 to 3% of the property's purchase price.
What happens to my earnest money?
Your earnest money is held in an escrow account until closing, where it's then applied to your down payment or closing costs. Shelby, can you please explain what an escrow account is for our listeners?
Sure. An escrow account is a financial agreement where a legal third party holds onto the money for both of the parties in the transaction. So your earnest money isn't going to the seller's It's being held in an account.
Yes.
Will I get my earnest money back if the contract is not accepted?
Yes, you should get your earnest money back.
What is the process to get my earnest money back if the contract is accepted and then the home inspection finds a big issue?
If the contract is accepted, but the home inspection finds an issue, you can negotiate with the seller to address the problem. And if an agreement can't be reached, you may terminate the agreement and get your earnest money back, as long as it is within the inspection period stated in your buy-sell agreement.
How often do you find the perfect property on the first day?
Finding the perfect property on the first day is rare, but it does happen. There is the 80-10-10 rule that we like to use, stating that if the home has 80% of what you want, 10% of things that you can live with, and 10% of things that you can change, it's a good option. However, this is not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Very true.
Shelby, is there anything I should not do during the house hunting process?
Yes. There's a number of things that you don't want to do when you're house hunting. Anything that would put your debt to income ratio at risk. Avoid making major financial commitments or anything that could affect your mortgage approval. Find a great agent and stick with them. A big mistake that I see new buyers make is calling every agent on every sign that's in front of a property they like. This adds so much work to your plate, and it may get you into a situation where your best interests are at stake. Plus, it doesn't save you any money. Let your agent do the work for you and build this relationship with them because it will help you immensely in your search.
Absolutely.
What is the likelihood of a multiple offer situation?
Multiple offer situations are common, especially in competitive markets. If the house is new to the market, in good shape, and at a good price, expect some competition. Talk to your agent and strategize because there are many ways to make your offer more appealing than just raising the price.
Absolutely.
What expenses will I have when I'm buying a home?
So this is something that can be a surprise for a lot of first-time buyers because you might not realize all the extra expenses that are going in.
Absolutely.
So you're going to have to pay your earnest money, an inspector fee, an appraiser fee, your down payment, your closing costs, possibly agent fees, and legal fees. And all of these costs will be determined based on your purchase price and your location. So talk with your agent and your lender to get your personal estimate.
Absolutely. I feel like that's all I say because I don't know how else to agree.
I know, right? Most definitely.
Indubitably.
How long does your home inspection take?
The home inspection typically takes a few hours, and you may receive the report the same day or within a couple of days. But you want to get it scheduled as soon as you go under contract because the inspection period will fly by.
Yeah, it will.
Following up with that, do I really need a home inspector?
Yes! Having a home inspector is crucial when you're buying a home. Even if the property looks perfect on the surface or is brand new, there can be underlying issues that only a trained professional can find, and their fee is far less than the cost of the disasters that could be lurking in the home. Sewers are a big one.
Yes, absolutely. But in addition to this, having a home inspector is crucial because real estate agents are not home inspectors. We can point out cracks in the wall, but we can't see all the dirty details that your home inspector will need to see. And that wraps up our most frequently asked questions for first-time buyers. Next up is our secret of the week.
Yay, I'm excited for this. If you find yourself competing in a multiple offer situation, there are other ways to make your offer stand out in addition to changing your offer price. So consider these options. First one, adjust your timeline to meet the seller's needs. They may need to sell quickly, or they may need more time to move, and you can give them a little extra time. You can write a letter to the seller about how much you love their property, because sellers who are emotionally tied to their home will often want to know that it will be loved and cared for by the next owners. And then also increasing your earnest money amount. This doesn't actually add any real value to the offer because it gets used towards your purchase. But sellers might feel like you're more invested in their property, seeing this higher amount that you're willing to put up.
Absolutely. In addition to that, working with a trusted lender. When you work with a reputable lender, sellers may feel more confident that you'll be able to complete the sale. Also, getting pre-qualified, not just pre-approved. There is a real difference here. Getting pre-qualified means that it has been looked over by an underwriter and the financial information has truly been verified.
Yes, it's much higher valued than just a pre-approval.
Perfect. And that's a wrap for our episode of Renegades of Real Estate. We hope you found your answers to your burning questions insightful and helpful as you navigate the home buying process. If you have any more questions that we haven't addressed, please email us at renegadesofre@gmail.com.
And if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Until next time, this is Riane Hysell and Shelby Carver.
Thanks
for tuning in.